Peace and blessings to all my brothers and sisters in Christ. This is Brother Ski from the Jude 24 and 25 channel. Just wanted to come on here and let you know about a dream I had about a week ago. I should have been posted it. This dream is kind of personal because it has some things in this dream that it's some things that I'm struggling with, some things that I want God to change, some things that I want to change, but I can't do it without His help. Like it says in Jude 24 and 25, now unto Him that is able to keep you from falling. So we need God's help. Even though this dream is personal to me, there may be some of you out there who can get something from this dream. So it's kind of long, so I'm just going to get right into it. The first thing I remember about this dream was there was a fight. My sister, she had got into a fight, and in this fight she had got rolled on. Now I saw the fight happening, but then I didn't see the fight. That part was kind of hazy. So she was in a fight, and she was fighting one-on-one. Some other girl jumped in and they rolled on her or whatever. Next thing you know, I ran into somebody that I know, somebody who I call my cousin, but he's not really my cousin, just a good friend. Except he looked different. He had all these muscles and stuff. Like, he was really buff. So I went up to him and, we shook hands, things of that sort or whatever. Next thing you know, I got into a fight with him. I don't know. I couldn't see the fight. That part was hazy. I just had a knowing. Like, I just knew that I got into a fight with him. I don't know why we fought, but I knew I got into a fight with him. And I had a feeling I lost the fight. And also had a feeling that I lost the fight on purpose, if that makes any sense. I'm not saying I'm a tough guy and I just let him win. No, I'm saying I had a knowing, like I lost this fight like on purpose. I don't know why. I don't know what that has to do with any of this, but that's what happened. But I couldn't see the fight, and I remember like not having a shoe on, and I kept thinking like I lost this shoe during this fight because I only had one shoe on. So I'm walking down this street on Woodland Avenue here in Philadelphia. So I'm walking down the street and I can feel like one shoe is on my foot, but then my feet, I can feel the concrete because, on the other foot because I didn't have a shoe on. So I'm walking down the street, and across the street there's this house where I think there's some people sitting around this house or whatever. They're all in the yard. But then there's this one guy, he's sitting on the porch. Well, actually, he's sitting on the steps. He's sitting on the steps near the house and everything. And so, I just walked past them, and I walked down the Woodland Avenue, and I'm walking down the avenue, and I sit down on this bench that's down the street from the police station, but there's no bench there at all. In real life, there's no bench. But I sit down there, and one of my sister's friends came over, and I started talking to her about the fight, and I was like, yeah, that was messed up. Such and such, she was there, she could have helped my sister, but she didn't. And after that was said, I went and I walked back up to the police station. I walked past the police station. I'm walking back up the block, back up Woodland Avenue where I came from. So I'm walking up the police station. So I'm walking up the street past the police station, but there's a line outside the police station. There's an ATM in the police station, So a lot of people, they go to the ATM there because it's cheaper to get the money out of that machine than there is at the other ones. So there's this guy in line, and he's a guy that works in my building. He's actually a janitor here. So I had this feeling. I was like, I'm going to ask him for a cigarette. That's one thing I'm struggling with, smoking cigarettes. So I was thinking, let me ask him for a cigarette, even though I never seen the guy smoke before. So I walk behind him, and I'm about to ask him for this cigarette, but then I look up in the sky, and there's this constellation. You may have seen it. It's called Orion. You can see it from anywhere in the world. It's very distinctive because it has like these 3 stars that are diagonal, and so that's the star Orion. And I saw this star, and this star was it looked bigger. It looked like it was closer. These stars were big. And they weren't just white. Like, I could actually see the white and the brightness of the stars. But they had, like, it was like a red ring around the stars. Like it was a red ring, and then inside was the white part, the bright part of the star. And as I'm looking at these stars, they begin to align. I mean, they begin to, the ones that are like, it's diagonal, but they began to go up. The left one and the middle one, they began to go up into it's starting to align with the right one. Because it's like the right one is on the right side. It's just by itself, but then these other two are like diagonal, like going into a slant, but they began to curve up. And the guy that was standing in line, the janitor for my job, he looked up and he saw it too, and he said something about Jesus. So I'm looking at this thing starting to align, and I actually got scared, so I turned around to try to run the other way, but I could still see those stars aligning. I could still see them aligning, even though I wasn't facing it. And as soon as they aligned, there was a bright flash across the sky, like a bright flash, a white flash. Then it was like, it looked like a meteor shower, or a comet shower. It was all gold. Like, it just looked like golden comets just streaking across the sky. And I probably didn't mention this before, but it was nighttime. It was nighttime. It wasn't too dark. It wasn't like pitch dark black. It was just like nighttime. Probably like as soon as it starts, that moment when it's about to get dark, when it's just totally nighttime. Let's say like a half hour before that. That's how it was. So I'm turning around, I'm starting to run, and I see all of these. I'm looking up at the sky at the same time, and I see this golden comet shower, and it's covering the whole sky. So I'm running down the street back from the direction I came. I'm running down the street, and as this is happening, as I'm seeing this alignment, as I'm seeing this golden comet shower, I just started calling on Jesus. I started calling on Jesus, and right at that moment, I just began speaking in tongues. Just started speaking in tongues. I was just speaking in tongues. And the whole time I'm just saying Jesus. So while I'm running and I'm still saying Jesus, speaking in tongues, I run past this ATM machine. And this money just spewing out of this thing. It's just coming out of this thing. So as I'm still speaking in tongues and stuff, I'm running past this machine. I see all this money flying, and I actually stopped and I thought, like, should I take that money? I mean, just think about what happened. I'm seeing this spectacular thing happening. I'm speaking in tongues, but yet and still I see that distraction, that money, and I'm like, I could take that money. So guess what I did? Just take a guess. Stupid me went back and took the money. There was some $1 bills and $100 bills coming out the machine. Those machines don't spew out $100 bills and $1 bills. Those are the bills that don't come out that machine. You know, it's usually 5s, 10s, 20s, things of that sort. So I went over there, and I remember I grabbed 100 and probably like 4 of the dollars. So I'm running down the street, and I'm still thinking about what happened. So I take the money, and I'm running back down the street. So I'm still thinking about what happened, this whole alignment of stars and things like that. And the only thing that was on my mind was this money that was on my mind, this alignment of the stars and stuff. But something else was on my mind. What was on my mind was the money I had in my pocket, and I had a feeling I have a box of cigarettes in my pocket with only one cigarette. But that's what I was thinking about, this cigarette and that money. Yeah, it's stupid. So I'm not afraid to admit it. It's stupid. So I'm running down the street now. I stopped speaking in tongues. Now I'm going down the street that I just came from. Now I'm about to pass this house where I seen this guy sitting on the steps and these people standing at this house inside the yard. But I'm on the opposite side of the street, but next thing you know, there's a fence there. I can't even walk down the street I came. It's a fence there, and I had this feeling like, let me hurry up and run past these people, because I don't want them to see me. I kept thinking like, these people are bad. It's dangerous out here. You got to be careful. But I couldn't get across because there was a fence there blocking me from getting by on my side of the street. Not only was it on my side of the street, but it was inside the street, leading all the way over to the guy that was sitting on the steps. So I went over to the fence and I went over to the other side of the street trying to get through this fence, trying to see if it's a way through. And I actually saw the fence going into the street. It looked like a maze. So I went inside of it and I tried to get through to get to the other side, but there was a bike there. I couldn't get through. It was like a bike just sitting right there. So I couldn't jump over the fence or anything like that because the fence didn't have that big fat bar at the top where it's a bar at the top that you can jump on and hold on, but it didn't have that. It just had like the fence there. So it's just the sharp spokes of the fence. I figured I would get hurt, so I couldn't go that way. And the guy on the steps, he said, hey, you can't go that way. You have to go another way. I'm going to stop right here and do a part 2.